You should be able to hear me now. So welcome back to another live. Just thought we'd do something that we haven't done before, and that's have a little chat with a fellow vlogger. So who do we have for you? Well, you know, because his little logo is on there. It's Graham, the caravan vlogger. So you should be able to see him. welcome to this little live chat.
You're in black and white. You look like you're in the 1920s or something.
Am I in black and white?
Yeah, it's sort of. I think they call it sepia, don't they?
It's really difficult because the light comes through this window. It's I need some of these, warm mantle wobble ones that will give me a bit better light. How's that? It's still no better, is it?
Green, I think. No, you're like the Grinch at the moment.
Oh, charming. 2 minutes and you're already insulting me.
It's so narrow. Is it narrow? I can hardly go. All right, anyway.
No, it's the light coming in through here. I've got a blackout blind, but it doesn't really help much. And then I've got the glare off the screen. Well, 2 screens, but there you go. So 27 people have joined us. Thank you so much for joining us. Just mention a few names. Hitch Up and Tow. Big thanks to Martin from Itchy Feet Caravanners, who's going to blue spanner for us. Crafty Caravanners, Carl Whitehouse. Who have I missed? Bob, right, Bob, how you doing? So there you go. Oh, Anne's joined us. Do you know what? I don't see much of Anne much lately anymore for some reason. Thanks on tour. Thanks for joining us. Jeff Foster, he's joined us. Trev and Sue from Posh Cats Camping. Andy Evans. So there you go. There's a few names. So thank you so much for joining us. I have got a few questions from Mr. Vlogger Man. So how does it feel being let loose again? We can actually start planning and booking somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, well, I've said this many times. I think Mandy does all the bookings, so I think she's watching as well. So I've got to be careful what I say. I mean, the way I find out is that I get an email saying you booked this site. So yeah, we certainly started booking, even though, as you know, we don't at this particular moment have a caravan, but we are, we have booked several places. Yes. But it is good. It is good. Well, hopefully on the 21st it will all happen and we'll all be able to enjoy ourselves.
We've booked one. We're going to Blakemere again. Claire likes it there, and it's great for the dogs. There's shops and like an outlet village there as well. So it ticks all the boxes. There's a woodland walk. So we decided to go back there again.
Hopefully you're also going to Cornwall.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Well, that was inevitable. That was booked the moment we got back. Dare I mention the F word? So is that going to happen, or is that not going to happen?
Well, no, I don't think. I mean, actually, we were obviously worried, as everyone has been. We don't know. I mean, France seems to be really slow with the vaccines. And what we don't want to do is get down there and kind of have to wear a mask everywhere, and so. Actually, the straw that broke the camel's back was the price of the ferries. Previous times we've been, it's been about 260 quid, over £500 at the moment. So I think until the ferry companies have clawed their money that they've lost back, I don't think we'll be going. The tunnel was cheaper, but we do prefer the ferry. So, when you add in, it's quite an expensive holiday anyway. And if you're then doubling the price of the ferry, it's just like, at the moment, it's a no. I mean, we have got a booking for about three weeks, I think, but we could probably carry the deposit over because we've only paid deposit, so it's not a big issue. But we do miss it, and we are going to miss it again, unfortunately. Looks like.
Well, you've got to take solace in the fact that you'll be able to meet up with us again in the summer.
Yeah, that's right.
Surely that far outweighs the sun in the south of France, surely.
Of course.
Why don't I believe you?
Well, I mean, Eve is good for us.
Well, you're going to be made up because you're going to have a new caravan to show up.
Yeah.
Show off, aren't you?
Yep. With 4 movers.
Well, I'm not. I didn't want to say that.
I know something else you can not beat me about.
You've said it for me. So you're going to tell us what it is? I think we already know. It's the
Yeah.
Swift.
So, I mean, if you don't know, we got Swift Challenger 650. Little bit of a story there. So we got the Bailey, I think, 3 years ago, and we liked the layout. But after using it for 3 years, there's a lot of things we don't like about the layout, particularly the transverse bed. We just didn't get on with it. So we were thinking about changing the layout. So the initial plan was to maybe buy equivalent year Pamplona, which is a rear island bed, which is what we wanted. But what we'd have had to do is like sell our caravan, put say £3,000 towards it, and end up with basically the same year, same caravan, but a different layout. So what kind of changed our mind was when we visited you in Cornwall last year, we went in your van, and we loved the finish and the feel. It was just something about it that was different to the Bailey. It was the same feeling we had when we had the Sterling, which is also Swift. And I don't know what it is. Can't really put a finger on it.
I just like the feeling of warmth. I know some people like the clinical look, like the Adrias and the Swift Sprites, for instance. But for me, they feel a bit cold. They're very, very nice caravans, but they're just a bit cold for my taste.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it is something like that. It was. I mean, I know you kind of make you make the van as homely as you want it, but I think with the Bailey, it was really. I think I did a vlog about it. I mean, if we listed 4 things that the reasons we bought the Bailey for, those 4 reasons were the reasons in the end that we wanted to sell it. With the big window at the front, it's fantastic, but you can't really open it. It's not particularly practical. The transverse bed. We didn't really like the rear bathroom. There was just loads of things. All the things we liked about it were things we didn't like about it in the end. Which is why caravan is so expensive, because you never get a right bloody layout and you're constantly looking at other things.
We were gearing ourselves up to go and buy a brand new one, but with this Swift kept coming up, it was just too good to turn down. And now we've bought it, we quite like the idea of the twin axle, the extra space, extra wardrobes, because especially with Mike, because he has that much with him, all the extra cupboards really come in handy. And Claire loves the big fridge freezer and things like that, so it was a no-brainer. It wasn't brand new, it was second hand, but we absolutely love it. We haven't looked back. It's just all the simple things that people with a new van probably take for granted and don't even give it a second thought. It's the external barbecue point, which we never had. The electric socket outside, which we never had. The extra space in the fridge that we didn't have. The big freezer that we didn't have. It's just so many simple things. The Audi heating has been awesome. That reminds me, we've got to get the glycol changed. It can only be done by your serviceman, can't it? £180. That's we've been quoted to do that.
Yeah,
it's got to be disposed of professionally as well. So I could vlog that, I suppose, couldn't I? It could be a bit of a vlog.
Yeah.
With that.
I mean, the other thing, just talking about Audi heating there. When new caravans, when we bought the Bailey in 2017, maybe 2018, they only put the blue stuff in, I think, which is only 2 year. So in 2 years' time, you have to get it.
Yeah.
Is like say about 200 quid. Whereas now, I think Audi heating. I spoke to them at the NEC, and they said they were so fed up with manufacturers not putting in 5 year that they actually insist that they put 5 years in, and they do as of I think last year. So if you buy a new van now, you get 5 year lasting antifreeze.
The engineer said exactly the same thing, that he's going to put stuff that will last 5 years minimum. So I've got to get it done before we start going away again, because it was coming to the end of its life when we got it serviced last year. So we're really due another service, but because it's been a bit hit and miss for the last 12 months, we're going to put the service off to the end of the year.
Yeah.
We'll get the glycol done first, rather than trying to find £400 all at one go. So I'll get the glycol done first, and then I'll put the service off to the end of the year. It'll still have the 2 stickers on it. Won't make any difference, really, will it?
No.
I think if you don't service your van, you're going to ask for problems, aren't you? Really? So.
I mean, I wasn't aware of this when we got the service on our van, and the bloke said, "Oh, just so that you're aware, like next year's service will be double." I said, "What was that?" He said, "Well, because we've got to do the antifreeze as well." And it's like, bloody hell. It's like £200. Then the next year it's £400. What? Why? Yeah.
So when are we're going to see more of Mandy this year in your vlogs?
No.
Why?
No, that's what, she doesn't like it. She doesn't like it. I just then I said to her, "Are you going to go?" She goes, "No." She won't have it.
Everybody teases me and says Claire's the star of the show. I'm the one that makes her look good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, she won't. We don't even like it when I'm walking along the outside vlogging and she's like ducking out of the way. Yeah, so.
I love Mandy's dry sense of humour because she doesn't say it as though she wants to make a joke. She just says things, and she has me in stitches.
Yeah, yeah.
I think she's a dry sense of humour is hilarious.
And I've tried a few times and she won't.
There's loads of bridges that need a little padlock on, don't we?
That's right. I remember that one.
Well, I found one at Southport, didn't I? So, you know what I mean? You need to pull your finger out, Gray. So, when are you actually going to get your caravan?
I've spoke to the waste pipe of wisdom. And
oh, no. Here we go again.
I do.
You know this is a contentious issue, this.
I do have information to share, but I've got a vlog coming out Sunday, which I just filmed. So all I'm saying is it has been built, but we don't have it.
I bet you can't wait. I'd be like ticking the days off. I'd be pulling my hair out.
Yeah.
Bit late for that, isn't it? No, I wouldn't be able to wait. Right, I'm just going to have a little look through the comments. Quite a few more people have joined us. Nick Alfree, Tim Nathan, thank you all so much for joining us. It's only me and this one here having a chit chat, but you know, I appreciate you joining us.
Can't call it chit chat.
Chit chat. Oh, the back. Yeah,
call it caravan chit chat. I love you.
Yeah, they've had a bit of a break in the back. It's nice to see them back. They're two really nice people.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I met them at one of the shows a couple of years ago.
Actually, the NEC, I met you. We met them as well, didn't we?
Yeah, and Karina and Jules from here.
Yeah.
They're really nice. Alan and Vicky, they're a really nice couple. It's nice to see them come back because they've got a new caravan to show off now, haven't they? Oh, and he's just bought a new tow car as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what you make of that tow car. It's a bit of a beast, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't mind them actually. One of our friends has got one. What are they called? Wild Tracks or something? Or no, Ford Ranger. I can't remember which one Aaron's got.
Yeah, Wild Track.
Yeah.
Are they classed as commercial? Because some sites won't let you on.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think for tax reasons they are commercial, I believe. That's why our friend's got one, because he gets it through the company. But you're right, yeah. But just having said that, you know, I've seen transit vans with, you know, logos down the side on Caravan Club sites. So
see, in 2 years' time, when my finance finishes on me Freelander, I've got to get a bigger car because I think we've outgrown that one already, and that's after 3 years. I think we've just outgrown it, and especially with going up to this big twin axle caravan, we are on its limits. It's within the Caravan Club's guidelines, but it's always playing at the back of my mind that we really need now to step up and get something a little bit bigger. So I'm just wondering, because I've looked at the L200 Mitsubishi, I've looked at the Nissan Navara, the Ford, and I've also looked at the, there's another one, isn't there? There's an Isuzu, but someone said, oh, forget them, the commercial vehicles, you won't get on half the sites. And I'm thinking, well, that's kind of putting me off.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're too worried about pickup trucks, surely.
Well, I would have thought it only becomes commercial when you put all sorts of graphics and things down the side advertising your business.
I think it's quite popular now, isn't it, to tow with, I'd say camper vans or whatever they are, like they're sort of.
Well, this is what Claire wants me to do. She wants me to buy, you know, a transporter.
Yeah.
VW transporter, not necessarily all kitted out, because for a good one with low mileage, they're out of my price range, but just a normal transporter with the windows in the centre, with an extra row of seats.
So I've just lost my camera.
With an extra row of seats, will give you so much extra room in the back for when we're out, because we can have little curtains or little blinds put on or whatever. So she likes the idea when we go to the beach and Mike gets all dirty, to be able to change him in the back of the van, and we could even take a little stove and have a cup of tea and things like that. She likes that idea. But I'm just wondering, will one of them pull an 1,800 kilogram caravan?
They're pretty big, aren't they?
Well,
you would think so.
Have they got the pulling power? I'd have to look into it.
Yeah.
So that was an option that Claire was pushing me towards. But I quite like the idea of these big utility vehicles. I don't know what you call them. The ones they're like a pickup truck, but they've got an extra cab on the back that gives you a massive boot.
Yeah.
A bit like the Rexton, the Sanyong Rexton.
Yeah,
it's like a big, huge area in the back. But it's very, very basic in the back. It's all like plastic. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously it's essentially
just like a boot, really, isn't it?
Yeah, essentially it's like a workman's car. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, a builder's car. So there's a few options. What I've got to do, put up the little fancy little banner things. I've subscribed to this StreamYard, and I'm not putting it to use, am I?
Got his subscription, the fancy things, not using it.
Yeah, I must admit that this I don't know whether you can call it software, because it's browser based.
Yeah,
you don't have to actually install anything. I've found it absolutely brilliant for £18 a month. I think it's absolutely great. There you go. I'll give you a bit of a plug.
Cheers. Excellent YouTube channel. Thank you.
Did you like that? You told me to say excellent.
That's right. I think that's exactly what I said. Yeah.
It was a bit like Phil from Lost Weekends on the last live. It was a bit of a script to introduce him. I think Claire went a little bit overboard. I didn't agree with half of it. He's gonna be upset with me now.
He will.
Back. He's at work at the moment, so he's gonna get upset. And I should really do that, shouldn't I? Thank you, everybody, very much for joining us. Right, let's go back to these comments. It's hard to keep an eye on both screens. Slow vaccines in France has tempted us to cancel. Jonathan Dan. Slow vaccines.
Yeah, that's the opinion we had as well. We might be vaccinated, but if half of them aren't vaccinated, they might still be in like half a lockdown. And then the thing we worried about as well is if they, for some reason, had some outbreak of another variant, and you had to come home kind of straight away. Don't want to be
harsh.
It's not worth the risk, I don't think. Although we're really going to miss it, obviously. Best off stay here.
Well, I've been jabbed. Have you been jabbed?
No, I got it a couple of weeks' time.
Claire's been asked to book an appointment, but the nearest one is in Chester, so it's a bit of a drive at the Chester Racecourse.
Wow.
So she's not that keen. She wants to get one done round here. We're hoping the doctors will call her in, because she's not the best. I might have to take her. I might have to do it that way and take her, but she doesn't really like driving too far. That's why I do all the driving in the caravan.
Yeah.
She only towed the caravan once, and that was our first trip to Cornwall. I forget what road it is. That when you come off the M5 and then you go across Cornwall. She drove a bit there, but was soon saying, "Get back here." So I did mock her. I did tease her a bit. I know I shouldn't, but I couldn't help myself. Martin and Joel, the obligatory banana milkshake.
Oh, geez. Nesquik.
50 years of age and I still love Nesquik. That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yes.
So who's going to do the entertaining in Cornwall?
What do you mean?
What? I want to drink all your beer.
Oh, you can drink my beer and eat my food. I thought you meant you wanted the song and dance out of me or something.
God,
I did entertaining.
Good God, if the sun's out, you'll make it go back in, don't? Especially if I sang.
we can have a couple of evenings where we sit around and watch my vlogs if you want. That'd be quite, the time will fly past. No, you got it on record that I'll buy the beer and food.
When I watch your videos, I think, who's he going to upset next?
Well,
honestly, I didn't have a problem with the collapsed waste pipe. It was a bit loose, and then I put the little flexi pieces in, and that worked a bit better. But then when I tried again, it was because I wasn't pushing it in far enough. But I suppose it's everybody's opinion, isn't it? You either like it or you don't.
Collapse kind of messaged me, and I was saying that I couldn't get this in, because they're all wobbly and you can't, where am I going? You're all wobbly and I can't get it in. Collapse said that most people complain that they fell out.
Yeah.
That's why, because they're hard to, I mean, when we first used this, we pulled it out and put it away. And when I got home, this one was still plugged in. And we travelled like 5 hours. It hadn't come, I hadn't taken it out properly. So, I mean, he's right. They don't come out easily. But the problem I got was putting the flipping things in because they're, and also now I've trimmed it, is it just going to fit a Bailey, not a Swift? There you go. They haven't thought of that, have they?
Well, there's another vlog when the caravan arrives.
Yeah. I won't use this. I use just a sort of generic one.
Well, like I
know
say,
other people use them, and that's fine.
I found it to be okay. Like I say, I wasn't pushing it in far enough the first time, but I ended up cutting a little bit of the flexi hose and putting that in and then doing that, and it worked quite well.
Yeah.
Then I thought, no, I've got to figure out why this, and I just wasn't pushing it in far enough. I
actually think if you have these bits, sort of, you could, you had some of these just to plug in the solid bit rather than the flexible bit into the pipe. That's where I've good. Anyway, it's just me. Most people are just fine with it.
Someone's just put, oh, the penny dropped. Guess the F word. Well, we can't spare live. We can't swear live on the chat, can we? So yeah, the F word. France.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
He likes to mention it, don't you, Gray?
I do find myself mentioning it more than I actually want to.
Sorry?
I find myself mentioning it more than I actually want to.
Yeah, and the J word. Oh God, no! I've encouraged it. I've encouraged the J word. We all know about the J word.
With the new caravan, I don't know whether to stick with the one that they give me, or whether I feel obliged maybe to buy a cart one.
Well, I think you should, because you said how good it was.
I've looked at the Alco, is it Alco Premium or something? It's got a built-in nose weight gauge. Seen those?
Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah, you would like it, but they're about 120 quid, so probably.
Yeah, well, I've blown the budget. I was always caravanning on a budget, wasn't I?
Yeah.
I blew that out the window.
Just carry on using your bathroom scales, that would be fine. But because I don't own a nose weight gauge, and I've never weighed the nose weight. Don't do it, kids. It's dangerous. I've never done.
Well, I completely stripped the caravan because obviously the Freelander was on its limits. We stripped the caravan of everything, so there's very, very little in the caravan. So it's really the caravan weight itself, the movers, the gas bottles, and the leisure battery. So there's nothing really, anything that we leave in the caravan over and above that. So I need to find out where the nearest weight bridge, because I think Hiwi Tow didn't they? They got a bit of a shock. So I should do the same just to see what mine weighs with just the basic essentials. But what we did was we bought plastic storage boxes, and all the kitchen stuff goes in one box, all the personal bits and bobs goes in another box, and so on and so on. So then when we come to go away, it's just a case of listing up into the back of the car, and away we go. We don't really have to worry about loading the caravan up because it's pretty much ready to go. And in my front box, there's pretty much nothing in there because I have another little storage box with everything that you need to get your caravan ready to tow. When you get to site, like your little Alco bag and your hitch lock and things like that. So I found that really easy because that's just a box, and I just do that, and then all the gear's there. So
something else with the Swift. We'll go back to a front locker. With the Bailey, I've never really worried about the nose weight because there's nothing in the front because it's not a front locker. So I've never really been that concerned about it. However, we have missed the front locker. Everyone, even we said it, we don't miss the front locker on the Bailey, but now we're thinking back with the Sterling we had before, and now, you know, we have the gas bottles there, obviously, and a few bits and pieces that are just easy to access. Whereas on the Bailey, you find yourself putting things in the gas locker, which is at the side, and also under the bed, and you know, it's a lot easier with a front locker.
Oh, I couldn't do without that front locker. It's just handy just to throw everything in there.
Yeah, I think they do it for cosmetic reasons, so because it looks, you know, maybe looks cleaner at the front with the big windows, and you know, but you know, it is, you do pay a bit of a price not having it.
No, I couldn't be without it, to be honest with you. Oh, tanks on tour. What about the jockey? Oh yeah, I know. I had to mention it, didn't I? But it is a pretty decent jockey wheel. I'm quite lucky because the jockey wheel that's on mine is perfectly fine. I don't know what you call them. It's proper inflatable tyre.
Yeah,
it looks a heavy duty one. It's quite robust, so, and it does the job. It goes over the stones and everything like they weren't there, so I quite like it. So it's not really worth changing. Although it did today. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say the one that Bailey supplied. I think actually it's Alco jockey wheel. I think it's just like the most basic jockey wheel in the world. And going over our gravel drive, it just used to break. You had big chunks out of the wheel. It was something to get on a kid's trike, really, and yet it's supporting the weight of a caravan. Yeah, ridiculous.
Carl Whitehouse, we like the bathroom in the middle of the layouts in caravans. See, I prefer an end bathroom.
Yeah, well, we don't know because we've never had a centre washroom. So we were just talking about this earlier. I mean, Mandy saying that we bought this caravan, because of the lockdown, we haven't actually been able to see one. So we think we'll. I mean, I know the layout, and I have been in 650s in shows and stuff like that, and just about every caravan that's ever existed. But we don't know if a centre bathroom's going to. What we actually want is a bed that we can walk round both sides to get to the toilet.
Yeah. Well, the only reason why I like the end bathroom is so if Claire and I are in bed watching TV, we can keep an eye on Mike.
Yeah,
that's the only reason, because obviously Mike being autistic, you've got to have eyes in the back of your head. So even though you might be all comfy in bed watching TV, you in the corner of your eye, you've got to keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
As you'll know, with the little clicker. Sorry, I've mentioned it, haven't I?
What?
Setting fire to your carpet.
Yeah, that was nice.
Oh, honestly, I can't forget that. I just can't. I can't forget it. Anyway, for everybody's benefit, we took our eye off Mike for a second, and he went into Graham Andy's caravan, and the little clicker lighter things you get for your stove. He was burning the little bits of fluff off his carpet and ended up causing just a little bit of damage, which we just haven't lived down. Graham and Mandy were absolutely fantastic about it, but
what can you do? I mean, actually, I was really impressed how, what's the word, inflammable, is that the right word, or flammable? Inflammable they were.
Yeah.
It didn't burst into flames, it just like frazzled a bit.
It could have been a lot worse, couldn't it?
Yeah.
I was so mortified. Claire was in tears, as you know.
Yes, she was.
It was at the Wirral Country Park, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah. Straight after that, she dropped her mobile phone down the back of the thing as well, back of the seats.
Oh yeah.
Had to like discount half the caravan to get the phone back.
Well, we've got that problem as well now because ours has got that little slot for the elderly as well.
Keeps it away from
So I'm waiting for him to do that. He hasn't done that in ours yet, but he loves that. He loves that front area now because when we get into bed to watch telly, he makes up that double bed and has the whole double bed.
Yeah, nice.
So he absolutely loves it.
Yeah.
But I have noticed when you look down there are crisps, there are biscuits, there's toys, McDonald's wrapper. So I'm gonna have to get me Sonny down there and clean all that out when we do our spring clean.
Yeah.
But we can't get away now until beginning of May, so that's our first trip.
Yeah, we've booked. Should we talk about bookings? We booked somewhere on the 16th of April. So what's that?
So you're lucky.
16th.
The 12th when we're all set free. is the Monday of my long weekend, my 4-day weekend.
Yeah.
So, we can't get out. I don't know when everybody else are getting away, but it's just been a little bit unlucky for us.
At the end of the last lockdown, we booked somewhere, 4th of July, that's when we was all let out, and we had booked somewhere. So we went, and we should have waited just a bit longer, because although it was reasonably organised, they were allocating pitches. So, it's just like this is the Caravan Club. They were like, right, you're on pitch 15, so we had to go on that. And actually, no, that's a lie. No, what we had to do, we had to select a pitch when we booked, but they rang us up and said, right, select. This is stories going. Is this live? Edit that bit out. Right, what happened is we rang them up and they asked us what pitch we wanted to be on. So we had to select a pitch kind of blind. And had we driven around, we wouldn't have picked this particular pitch. But the very next day, they were allowed to drive on and just pick your own pitch. So there's something to be said, maybe not going on the 12th, leaving it a couple of days. I don't know.
Well, when we booked Blakemere, there was only 3 pitches left on the, because we've gone for gold pitch, fully serviced. We don't normally do that, but we thought, sod it, let's pay a little bit extra and have fully serviced for a change.
We like service pitches. We don't normally stay on them. Oh, look at that, there it is.
That was the pitch last year. It was quite difficult to reverse on. The thing is, I'm getting to realise now, when you've got a twin axle caravan, and some pitches are not that easy to get on. It was literally sort of like this, and to reverse on, I did my best, but then I had to go like this with the motor movers to get it where it ended up. Otherwise, I'd have been churning up all the grass. As it was, I nearly went over a kid's bike. The fella comes running out and was like looking down, and I've just gone over the kid's handlebars and pressed it into the soft ground.
Oh, right, yes.
I didn't damage it, but Claire's like that. I'm like, what? She's supposed to be doing this and looking out, because I can't see something that's on the floor, can I? Even in your mirrors. Yeah. So I'm at full lock.
That's right. Give it this. Yeah.
And I went over this kid's bike, and the fella stood there going like that. Didn't you see it? And I went, well, obviously not. But when we dragged it out the mud, it was all right in the end. And he saw the funny side in the end.
There's quite a discussion on Facebook about motor movers. One guy said he's a professional driver, and did he really need a motor mover? And most people were saying, no, you probably don't, it'd be all right. But there have been a few sites where, no matter how good you are at reversing, the distance, kind of the road, isn't wide enough for you to be able to get full lock and without hitting the car there. So, I mean, we had that in France, where we had a really nice pitch, but there was a narrow road and a toilet block, and the motor movers were broke, so I had to reverse it on. So we're reversing on, and the car's kind of basically going to hit the toilet block, which obviously can't move. I'm on full lock, and I can't get it on. So in that, you need a motor mover.
The other thing you've got to remember is, which I've come close to doing, is when you're at full pivot on your hitch, there's going to come a point where you're either going to come together or you're going to really do damage to your hitch.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
There is a limit, isn't there?
When you get it like jackknife like that, it's a nightmare to undo. Yeah. You've got to move the car forward. So what we ended up doing was, I mean, it's on a 2-ton twin axle caravan, so we had to push it onto this pitch. It's boiling hot, 35 degrees, absolute night. We'd had a nightmare drive anyway, and then trying to get it there. Fortunately, a couple of people came running over and helped us push it on, but we couldn't get it on the pitch where we wanted it. So it's just like, oh no, but you do need movers.
Well, just I'm glad to hear you bought 4 this time. That's all I can say.
It'll be much better.
I must admit, we when we got this caravan, we said, well, how heavy is this caravan? Because obviously our Bailey, it was only about 1450 loaded with all our gear, and we moved that okay. But I tell you what, when we tried to move the Swift, oh my God, no chance. 4 weeks, no chance. You've got absolutely no chance. It's an absolute must. You have to, as simple as that. Especially for us, where we live on like it's basically a single track road, and
On the other side of the road, there are trees, and I've got a telegraph pole and bushes. So I can't get the angle, and we put it on front ways anyway, but I can't get the angle onto reverse on because I'll end up in the bushes. So it's just, you can't, nobody, not even the best professional driver would be able to get it on it honest. It's just physically not possible. So you've got to have motor movers there.
I'm just going through the comments. 4.5 oh, someone's talking about cake shops here. Do I need any more cakes? Really, I shouldn't have any more cakes. Keep off the grass, Jeff Foster. Yeah, especially with a twin axle. I was really upset when we were at U-Tree before Christmas. It was pitch black, and I reversed in like a semicircle onto the pitch, but I just clipped the corner of the grass and chained it up with the twin axle. And I was really apologetic to the lady. She says, "Oh, it doesn't matter. We'll just pat it down. At least you've told me." It's when people don't tell us, and then the next guests come. She says, "Don't worry about it. We're not due for anybody for a week or so anyway." So, but I still felt really bad that I'd clipped the grass. And she said, "Oh, don't worry about it. All we'll do is just flatten it down. Don't worry about it." But you do feel a bit guilty, don't you?
Actually, the last time we were away, it's the nearest site to us in Hertford, and it's a caravan and camping club site. We went just for a weekend to check out, try out a new awning. So we went on this pitch and we said, "Look, we need the awning up." "Yeah, that's all right. Make sure you don't get the awning on the grass because the grass is all soggy." But the pitch wasn't wide enough for us to put the caravan and the awning, so we had to go on the grass. So we made a bit of a nightmare of the grass, and then I had to park the car on the grass because there was no other place to put it. Oh, well, you try not to, but it was ridiculous.
I'm sorry if I've missed anybody's comments or questions. I'm just trying my best to concentrate on the two screens. Phil from last weekend says, "Some sites you are only allowed to use your motor movers." Well, that's news to me. That's interesting. I would probably say, the posh ones like Concierge Camping and places like that would be that strict, surely. But I've not heard of that before. Is an awning footprint worth buying to put onto a hard standing pitches to mark out where you put your awning? We've got the footprint for our camper Dometic Air Ace Pro 400. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Air Ace Pro 400, and the footprint came with the kit, because you can buy a kit that you get the carpet, the footprints.
What is the footprint?
Whole set. Sorry?
What is the footprint?
Well, you pin it out, and it gives you a rough idea of where to pin your awning.
Like ground sheet sort of thing?
And it's like a ground sheet. Obviously, I wouldn't advise it if you were on a grass pitch. We don't use it when we're on a grass pitch. But the other benefit of it as well is you can tuck your awning underneath it, and it stops anything coming in through the floor of your awning. I think it's absolutely great, because that's when we're on a gravel pitch, that's what we put down first, the footprint, and it's just like a really thick sheet.
Yeah,
it works quite well. It just gives you an extra bit of cushion in it as well, because some pitches the stones are quite big, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Because I when I'm at the caravan, I like to walk around in my bare feet or just my socks on. I don't want to be putting boots on every time I go out.
Not just your socks on, though, eh?
Well, yeah, just a pair of white sports socks. God, what a sight that! Behold,
Crocs.
No Crocs. We found Martin a pair of Crocs, tiny little doggy Crocs. He found the funny side in the end, but anyway, I'm going off subject now. What was I saying? The ground sheet, yeah. So when I walk out into the awning, you're not standing on the big stones, and it just protects it a little bit, but it definitely stops the water coming up and through your carpet. So when you walk in there, it's bone dry, because like I say, the flap on your blow up awnings, it can actually fold it underneath the ground sheet, and it just stops all the water coming in, especially.
Can you use it on grass pitches then, or is it breathable, or is it just literally like
top? Breathable. Like I say, I wouldn't advise using it on a grass pitch, because you'll just kill the grass dead within the first day, because it is quite thick, and it's like a tarpaulin, but it's like weaved plastic, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's really thick. You know, so I think some more comments are coming in about this ground sheet. Oh yeah, Peter Miller. Funny when you see people move caravans from one pitch to another.
Well,
You got into a bit of trouble for that, didn't you?
Absolutely. The worst thing was, well, yeah, a terrific farm, isn't it? Terrific farm. The worst thing was that couple that sat in front of us. I got a lot of stick over that for being a bully.
I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about your stay at the Wirral Country Park. How not to move your caravan.
Oh yeah. I was scared. Seriously, that was scary. Because there was, well, if you don't know what we're talking about, we was at the Wirral Country Park, is that what it's called? And we was at the bottom of this hill, and at the top of the hill was a couple moving their caravan without the tow car and without the motor mover. So they were basically pushing it down the hill to get on the pitch next to us. Obviously, he really liked me or something. And so it was started off pushing it. Then he put the handbrake up. Then he started off pushing it, and he was kind of like slowing the caravan with the handbrake up. Oh my God! And there's people queuing, waiting, but they'd park their car on the empty pitch, so nobody else could go on there. And I was like saying, "It's really not on, is it?" And the people were slating me about one not helping, and two filming it and moaning about the people. You know,
he had the warden helping him. No,
yeah,
that was scary as well.
No.
Someone's saying it's funny watching people move from one pitch to the other. Well, it happens a lot at Trewethed because of the view. You know, you go on about the F word. I think we're going to make ours the T word.
Yeah.
Trewethed Farm. I absolutely love that site. I know it gets windy. 2 storms and a howling gale. It nearly put Clare off for the rest of our lives. But apart from the windy weather, we absolutely love that site. I love that view. It's just, you know, behold, you know what I mean? It's just, especially when you've got your friends round and you're having a bit of a barbecue and a couple of drinks, to look out over that. It's just, you know, there's not many sites like that, is there?
No.
There's probably some in Scotland. Isn't there one called Bunry Caravan and Motorhome Club site?
Yeah.
That's got a breathtaking view from what I can see, overlooking a loch in Scotland. There's one that Claire and I would like to go and visit one day.
Oh, I just see there, Marty's just asked if, compared to UK sites, how strict are French campsites?
Question.
I didn't mention it. Yeah, so they're not at all. I would think if someone from France, a French person, comes to a caravan and motorhome club, they'd have a heart attack and would laugh their socks off. There's no. For a start, a lot of the pitches we go on are like separated by hedges, so you can park wherever you want on a pitch. Nobody tells you where to park, what way to park. So in that way, it works really well. I think because we're probably more limited on space here, I think it's probably more important for us to park kind of where the caravan club and stuff tell us to park. But over there, it's not free for all, but nobody really cares. It's just, you know, we've never had a problem where. No, it's a lie actually. When where I was saying about the white toilet block, I couldn't reverse in. There was a couple next to us, French couple, and he had, I think it's a caravan, a motorhome, an awning, and a tent on one pitch. But his motorhome was parked in such a way, like widthways across the pitch. Yeah. It was a nightmare. So and it didn't move, and that was our only way out. And I had trouble getting in, so I wouldn't have been able to get out because of his motorhome. The road and the toilet block is such a narrow, and I had Mandy laughed her head off because I got so stressed. And she's always saying to me, like, when are you going to speak to that bloke about moving his motorhome? Like, I can only just about say hello.
Come tell him, Graham.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. So it's a bit of a free for all, but mainly people, it's not as strict, and nobody tells you how to park there.
See, I don't mind living by the rules because they're there for everybody's benefit. So unless you go to a site where it's like a free-for-all, then do what you want. But the caravan club like to live within certain rules, and they're there for everybody, aren't they?
Yeah.
Tanks on Tour have just said that they've been. We've been to on a site that they will pitch your caravan. You're not allowed to site it yourself. I've never heard of that either.
No.
The footprint is to protect your awning carpets. Well, to be honest with you, our awning carpet, I put the pads on the steps again, like I did with our first steps, because it was leaving really big imprints in it. So at least the footprint protects. It does do what it says on the tin. It just protects your carpet. But like I say, the way I put it down, I took the awning flaps underneath, and it keeps all the water out. Keeps all the water out and off your carpet, because the couple of pitches that we've been on haven't been great for drainage, and the water's settled in the middle of your pitch where your awning is, and it's been like underfoot. You've got about that much water underneath your carpet, so
yeah,
that footprint stops that.
When we were at Terrific Farm, we had that. We had one of the rubbish pitches at the back. It was like absolutely waterlogged. It was just a nightmare.
I'm not slating the site, but it was Blakemere. It was. Do you remember when Claire had her 50th birthday, and I put the big balloons outside the caravan? It was there. The only pitch on Blakemere that had standing water in it happened to be ours. So we must have been at the lowest point, because everybody's water was just draining onto ours. But it's one of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it just needed a bit more gravel, to be perfectly honest. I don't know whether we mentioned it, because I don't like moaning or complaining.
No.
Well, I do moan and complain, but I don't like going into the office and saying. But
I don't complain at the time. I go home and do a vlog about it.
yeah. But then, having said that, I did we're always upsetting people. Well, a few people. The only time I did go in and complain was at Piper's Heights, and some of the kids drove over me new flexi collapse waste pipes. And I've only just bloody bought them. It was the first time I'd used them, flexed them, and a kid rode over it and crushed it all. So I wasn't impressed. That's about the only time that I've gone in the office and complained. We had a moment at Cheddar Caravan Club site pitch in the middle of the road, as there was a double booking on the site with our pitch. Oh, has that ever happened to you?
That's a nightmare, isn't it?
A double booking.
That's got to be a nightmare.
I can just imagine the pair of you doing this, trying to reverse onto the pitch. Do you know what? I've never heard that happen.
No.
Bath to Tranquil Park, they put it on the pitch for you. See, I've never heard of that before. I don't know whether I'm pronouncing that. Tregarten Park in Cornwall, pitch your van for you. Never ever heard that before. Bunry is definitely one for on our wish list. Itchy Feet Caravanners. So, have you ever heard that though, where they pitch your caravan for you? I've heard of sites where they've got storage on site, and you can actually have like not a seasonal pitch, but a tug and drop like system where you have your caravan in their storage, and you phone them up and say, "I want this weekend," and they come out and put it on a pitch for you. I've heard of sites like that.
On the site, like I say it again, in France, on the site we stay in France, they've got a little car. It's a caravan taxi. That's what it's got on the side. So you obviously ring him up and he goes and picks it from storage and puts it on a pitch for you. That's pretty good. Mind you, in fact, most of the caravans they use out there aren't roadworthy. Just no way you'd be able to tow them to the UK. They're like falling to bits.
A few more names. Matt Cooper's joined us. Colin Rimmer. If I haven't noticed you before, I do apologise. And like I say, it's trying to concentrate on two screens. Yeah, so there you go. I think we're coming up to 52 minutes of just us. One thing I do want to say is, what's with the bike? Is this because I was showing off my posh bike?
No, that's the only place I've got to put it at the moment.
No, come on. What made you go out and buy a new bike?
I wanted an e-bike. Well, to be honest, I went out on my bike 1st of January, or 2nd of January maybe, and it was absolutely killed me. And it's a hill. I was going up a hill, hard work. When I was coming down the hill, I was kind of taking it easy. And these two cyclists, older than me, but in their probably 70s, afternoon, waved, off they went into the distance. Then I saw them go off. Then I was cycling along up straight on. Then I saw them come around and come out and they overtook me again. You taking the piss? So, and I think they might have had e-bikes. So I thought, you know what, this is just get a battery on there and make it a bit easier.
It just seems funny that I showed off my rather expensive MTB bike, and then you go off and buy an e-bike. I thought, look at him.
You're going to claim the Swift as well, aren't you? That I went in to see your Swift, and then I've got one.
Yeah, I think you got a bit of bike envy, I think, and you thought, right, I'm going to outdo him. Mine's going to be electric.
No, I got electric because I'm just not even fit enough to ride just a normal bike.
Well, I haven't. Mine's not been out the shed for over 12 months. I really should go check it's okay.
Yeah,
I haven't touched it.
Weather's been shocking, hasn't it? So.
Can't you tell? It might help me shift a bit of that. Anyway, Claire's pushing me to go on a diet, and I'm thinking, oh my God, no, don't, I can't. But arthritis, blood pressure. I'm under pressure from the doctor as well, saying change your diet or else.
Don't think of it as a diet. Think of it as eating healthy.
Well, you're a bit of a healthy eater and bottled water and stuff, but
I eat what Manny cooks and Manny cooks fairly healthily. So
I like all the bad things, though. Unfortunately, Wales. I got someone said on me Facebook group about Wales. Don't be getting your hopes up about going to Wales anytime soon. I think their governments are blocking Wales for a little bit longer. I don't think they're going to be in sync with ours.
I thought I read somewhere that people were saying this morning that, oh, great, they can get away for Easter. I don't know. So I don't actually know.
Yeah, well, I watched the little press conference, and she was basically saying that they're not going to follow ours. They're going to do whatever's right for Wales, which is right and fair enough, isn't it? But which is a bit upsetting because Wales is our second home, and we love North Wales. And to lose that option of going there is quite upsetting. But because the other thing as well, it's going to be difficult this year. Is Claire's hours have changed, and they're making her work every Saturday now. So whereas before she'd have a Saturday off, and that would correspond with my 4-day weekend, she's now going to have to go to work on the Saturday night from the campsite.
Every Saturday?
Yeah. So every time we're away now, Claire's going to have to go to work on the Saturday, which is for us is an absolute nightmare. Yeah. So I've told her, say ta-ra to M&S and go and get another job somewhere else. But trying to find the hours that suits us and have that one Saturday off a month is going to be really difficult. So I don't know what we're going to do this year. It's going to be a bit awkward because there's only so many sites that are close enough for her to get back to work on the Saturday. It's kind of really messed our caravanning up. So I can't end on that, can we? We're gonna have to. I'll look at the comments and change the subject because we can't end on that, can we? So hopefully, the caravan sites in North Wales will be allowed to open. Colin Rimmer says the guy at Gia Hyfryd Caravan and Motorhome Club site affiliated pitches the van for you as well. Wow, did you see? So a lot of sites. There seems to be a lot of sites that will pitch it for you.
Maybe they're on sites that are like tricky to manoeuvre.
I take it you've got an electric bike too as well, Colin. I love racing kids on my bike. Some of them can't believe it when I pull away. I should really look into trading mine in and get an electric one then. It might help me carry this 22-stone bulk. Wales will be open to the Welsh over Easter. So this might make sense. Internal movement only first. Wales will open the border to English once we decide it's so they'll decide if it's safe to let the English in. Well, at least now I know that's been clarified. Wales only for locals, as there is a 5-mile limit. 5-mile limit. Can't go anywhere with that. We have booked for Wit for Wales. Fingers crossed. Yeah, good luck with that. We have been to Bunbury, booked early June. Depends if Nicola will let us cross the border. Yeah, so it's all down to each government, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, so there you go. I think we'll wrap this up, then, Graham, because Mike will be home from school soon, and Claire is finished work, but she's going to go and do a Tesco. So I'm doing the welcome home, Mike, and cope with the trauma of that, because he's not the easiest after a day at school. So I'm going to have fun with him with that. So I just want to say thank you to every single one of you that have took time out your day to join us, and thank you, Graham, for being the first guest vlogger. And thanks to Joe and Mart for doing the blue spannering, as well as Phil. I thought Phil was at work, but he's here. So I think that just leaves us to say thank you very much for joining us. And if this has gone okay, we may do another one in a week's time, couple of weeks' time, maybe, with another guest. So thanks very much for watching, guys. See you next time.
Cheers all. Bye.
See you later. Bye.
See you.
Bye. Bye. Bye.